Oh boy. Apparently, Sixers fans are upset because the wee little Knicks had a little too much fun after whooping them for the second time this season. Apparently, we had too much energy after a win because we were treating it like a championship. Boy, if you don't get... Look, and people who want to talk to me about, like, you beat a depleted 76ers team. Okay. And how many times did the 76ers beat a depleted team? And they proceeded to celebrate every single game talking about, oh, we on a win streak. How many depleted Knicks teams did they beat? Miss me with all that. Miss me with the crybaby nanny poo 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 poo. You lost. Take the L. You're 0-2 against the Knicks. We'll see you the next time we play, you guys. But this is just the beginning of what this week is going to be, because next we have the Bucks for our second meeting against them. We won a close battle with them last week, and now we have another battle with them this coming Wednesday, tomorrow, and it's going to be insane. And then we end off the week with the Charlotte Hornets. It's a tough week, a tough week against some tough teams. I don't know if you've seen, but the Eastern Conference is looking like this. It's a logjam right now. We are in 7th or 6th place at 7-4. When's the last time you could say that about the Eastern Conference? I know it's only 11 games, but it's craziness right now. One of these teams are going to fall. One of these teams are going to, slip up, I'm sure. But we got this as our top 8, and the Bucks and the Hawks aren't even in the conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy times right now. But I love the win nonetheless. There's a lot of back and forth going on about the game and how we should have won it by more and this, that, and the third. And a lot of hate that has been going Julius Randle's way. In my opinion, Julius Randle looked a lot better in the closing of last night's game compared to some of our other closings. And I want to talk about that, as well as our impending big man crisis that we've been worried about going into this season. What do? What's next? We're going to talk about all that. But first, run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, do not forget to like this video. People, go subscribe to the other channels coast to coast, as well as CK Hoops. A lot is going on, but before any of that, we have to talk about last night's win. It was a fight, okay? We had a 19-point lead at one point, and then the third quarter happened, and well, it went from 19 to about 5 points, and the Knicks were playing survival mode to close out the game. Now we could talk about what was the problem, what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened. One of the big keys that I feel like we need to be looking at is the lack of Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin played a great game in only 9 minutes, the lowest amount of minutes of anybody on the court. That's a video of its own, but I'm gonna wait and give it some time before we even talk or argue about that. He's gonna be part of the conversation we're gonna have about the big man crisis, but we didn't see him in the third quarter, and what Obi Toppin does really well is bring energy to the team, and what we were lacking in that third quarter was energy. But like I said, we'll talk about that at the end of this video. But one thing I really enjoyed was seeing Julius Randle. You could see him understand a lot of the flaws that a lot of Knicks fans were really worried about, really upset about in some of our other wins or losses to close out these games. It felt like Julius Randle was playing a lot of me ball to end a lot of these games, which led to us looking predictable, us losing ball movement, and the other team understanding what to do and how to take over our team. And in this game, the minute Julius Randle checked back in, he was the reason why we sealed the deal. Julius Randle went out there and he was continuing to move the ball the entire night. He led the team in assists last night, and he did it in a way where it didn't have to be point Julius. He wasn't playing and forcing the point guard role. Hell, there was even a point towards the end of the game where you saw Taj Gibson and Kemba Walker yelling to make sure that Julius Randle got the ball back to Kemba Walker, which the ball eventually got back to Julius Randle in a better spot. Those kind of things are the growing pains that this team is going to be going through. That's why when you get excited or you get upset about any kind of moments within the first 11, and I say 20 games, I always say 20 games is the benchmark where we'll see who's for real and who's the pretenders, all right? And right now we just finished game 11 going into game 12, and we're seeing the growing pains. We're seeing that Julius Randle is understanding that he can trust his teammates. We're seeing him going to RJ Barrett a lot more frequently. We're seeing the two-man game between him and Fournier. We're seeing the two-man game between him and Kemba. There's still so many things that are still being unraveled with this basketball team right now. I don't even entirely believe that we found our identity yet. I still believe that we could potentially be that defensive team that we were last year, but I think there's a new element that can be added to that with the pace, with the shooting. There's so many things that can be added to it, but right now we're unraveling and we're learning what this team is truly going to be. So the stepping stone I loved about last night was Julius Randle's poise and his control in how he closed this game. This is how Julius Randle needs to be closing the game, but it also comes down to the point guard play, and Kemba Walker, I feel like, did a good job in controlling the offense, and as RJ Barrett's been saying, being that floor general. I understand you want to talk about this person and that person did not play. I don't care. We, as the Knicks, and with the losses that we've suffered this season, we're in no place to talk about who we should be and how we should be beating teams, because we've been losing games that we should have won in the past. So miss me with that. We won the game. We're 7-4. That's all I see. But like I mentioned at the top, we have an issue, and that is at our big man position, the center position. We knew that there was going to be a point in the season where Mitchell Robinson might be missing games. Noah Well might be missing games. Now, we did play last night without Mitchell Robinson. I don't think that is going to be a big thing. We don't know how serious the hip flexor injury is for Mitchell Robinson. We don't know if it's because it was a back-to-back game that he did not play last night. But Nerlens Noel, who came in with a sore back, then re-aggravated the back, then got hurt hurt his knee. We don't know what the overall result is going to be with Nerlens Noel, or how long Nerlens Noel is going to be out. So there's a big question mark at what's going to happen for the big man, because both of those guys, as we've seen, have been very vital parts to this team and how we've been playing. Nerlens Noel showed a masterclass on how to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo at the closing minutes of the game against the Bucks. Now, without Nerlens Noel in this game on Wednesday, it might be a different situation, because I don't know who we're going to be throwing at Giannis Antetokounmpo the way that we threw Nerlens Noel. You can say what you want to say about his stone hands or whatever the comments may be. He did a tremendous job at slowing down and stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's going to be a big missing piece in tomorrow's game. Mitchell Robinson has been adjusting other teams' offenses every time we play them. The way that they get to the hoop, the way that they decide on when they're going to shoot, passing out of shots, this, then, the third. Those are things that are very vital to Mitchell Robinson. Now, like I said, we don't know the severity of Mitchell, we don't know the severity of either of their injuries. We don't know how long either of them are going to be out, but the point of the matter is, missing both those players, especially at the same time, could prove to be very dangerous for this team. That leaves us with Taj Gibson, Jericho Sims, and Obi Toppin. I'm throwing Obi Toppin in there because we've seen enough instances where a lot of these other teams are going to be playing small, and Obi Toppin can be out there with Julius Randle. We can see a Julius Randle Obi Toppin tandem. We only saw it one time this season. We saw it in the preseason, and in those two short little bursts, we saw that it can work. Even though we're missing some bigs, they were missing bigs too, and when Andre Drummond went off the court, that was the opportunity for us to play the both of them and see how it would work. Is that something that we're gonna have to go forward with? Yes, I was the number one person on the skeptical train on if Obi Toppin and Julius Randle would work together. I've been saying I didn't want it. There's two things about Obi Toppin I didn't want to see, and that was him playing next to Julius Randle and him playing the three. I'm still on, I don't want to see him play the three, but I'm definitely eased up on the him playing Julius Randle, because I do think it'll work, especially in lineups where we're playing small ball against the other team. It throws off their defense. It throws off the game plan that they have on us, because we play a different style when Obi Toppin's up there. He's always one of the first ones down the court. Always one of the first ones down the court. And one of the biggest things that he's improved on is his rim protection. I was gonna say perimeter defense. Nobody on the Knicks has improved on their perimeter defense. But his rim protection, as well as the way that he is getting, as well as how quickly he is getting on the defender and playing these defenders in the post. So the Obi Toppin overall game has taken that next step, and he's looking a lot more like the Dayton Obi than the rookie year Obi, which is what we want to see. So I feel like Tibbs should be a little bit more confident knowing to use Obi Toppin. I know instinctively he's going to go the Taj Gibson, Jericho Sims route first, and he's going to have to see it not work for him to go the Obi Toppin route, which is how it happened originally, but it is definitely something that we need to consider. I know if Mitchell Robinson is in fact in the lineup, then we will see a combination of him and Taj Gibson, but I really think that it is time to commit to that small ball lineup whenever it is needed. These teams are giving us these opportunities to run it and use it. I think that Tibbs and the Knicks need to use that. As of right now, there's no word on Mitchell Robinson and his hip flexor. It seemed like he was just gonna miss last night's game because it was back-to-back and he aggravated the hip, so we don't know what that means for us on Wednesday. And as far as Nerlens Noel, as of me recording this, I have nothing to update you on Nerlens Noel. But that knee injury didn't look good, and the fact that when we closed out the game, Nerlens Noel was already in street clothes, I don't know what to make of that, but he's going to be a big loss in the game against the Milwaukee Bucks. But we have a situation that we need to handle. What would you do? Are you going to go the Jericho Sims route like Tom Thibodeau has been doing? I said it in the offseason. I've said it on multiple shows that I knew Jericho Sims was going to get time on this team. And I feel like each time he's been going out there, he's been getting better and better. And he's been absorbing what he's been learning from playing some of these NBA teams, from practicing with the New York Knicks. I think that those kind of things are helping him out in the long run. And I think there are situations for Jericho Sims, but I feel like we should be looking at a Julius Randle, Obi Toppin combination before we go to Jericho Sims. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So what are your thoughts about last night's game against the 76ers? Are you guys worried because we didn't beat them the way we were supposed to beat them? Or are you like me, understanding that a win is a win and the Knicks are still figuring each other out the same way like a lot of these other teams, and we are going through our growing pains? Let me know your thoughts about that, and also what do we do about the big man situation? Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to all of the other channels. Links are in the description below, and don't forget to join the Discord. Conversations continue over there as always, so you can get all the information on the Discord. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's get it. New York Knicks versus the Bucks tomorrow. I'm feeling good. I'm going for a full sweep this week, but we'll see what happens. 1-0 so far. Let's see how it goes against the Bucks. All right, I'm out of here. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Cold pizza Tuesday. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new way. I think I like it how it is.